Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. In this video, we will be covering from the basics of CSS to some advanced CSS. And in this video, we will be covering the introduction of CSS, history of CSS, CSS variations, advantages and disadvantages of CSS, CSS3 and its modules and features, syntax and declaration of CSS3, and selectors of CSS and CSS3. Well, CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheet and is generally used to control how HTML tags and elements are displayed on your screen. So this means the basic styling of your web page is controlled by CSS. And it is a language for describing the presentation of web pages, including colors, layouts, and fonts, thus making our web pages presentable to the users. CSS is designed to make style sheet for the web. HTML is a basic markup language which describes the content and structure of web pages. On the other hand, CSS is an extension to HTML which modifies the design and display of the web pages. HTML file can contain CSS code, while CSS style sheet can never contain HTML code in it. CSS is a cornerstone technology used by most websites to create visually engaging web pages, user interfaces for web applications, and user interfaces for many mobile applications. CSS was invented by Håkon V. Emle on October 10, 1994. Like HTML, CSS is standardized by W3 Consortium, and it is maintained by a group of people within W3 Consortium called CSS Working Group. The CSS Working Group creates documents called specifications. When a specification has been discussed and officially ratified by W3 Consortium members, it becomes a recommendation. These ratified specifications are called recommendations because W3 Consortium has no control over the actual implementation of the language. CSS is an open, independent, and freely usable standard. As with HTML, a working group exists for CSS who concerns itself with development of the standard. This is being done in accordance with W3 Consortium rules. CSS has various levels and profiles. Each level of CSS is built upon the last, typically adding new features, and it is denoted as CSS1, CSS2, and CSS3. CSS1 was adapted in 1996 December. CSS1 had font properties and specification for typeface and emphasis. The text attributes were supported such as spacing for letters and line of text. Alignment of text, positioning, and tables were also added. Margin, padding, border, and positioning for elements was also implemented. This recommendation was not maintained by W3 Consortium. CSS2 is an improvement of CSS1. It has many new features such as absolute, relative, and fixed positioning of elements. It supports different media types and also include new font properties like shadow. And this level was developed by W3 Consortium and published as a recommendation in May 1998. Instead of defining all the features in a single large specification like CSS2, CSS3 is divided into several separate documents called modules. CSS3 has its major focus on modularization and separation of concerns. It has even included new selector along with new combinator and new pseudo elements. And it has various properties added such as transform, gradients, animations, and transition for animation effect in the website. Recent add-ons are like border radius, box shadow, flexbox, and CSS grid. The earliest CSS3 draft were published in the year 1999 June. On 7 June 2011, the CSS3 color module was published as a W3 Consortium recommendation. CSS3 is an enhanced version of CSS and hence it is always advised to use the latest version as it contains bug fixes, improvements, and new features in accordance with current technology. CSS3 supports responsive design. Responsive design is referred to designing a website in such a manner that it looks good on all screen sizes. It should not break or misalign components on changing the screen size. Benefits and advantages of CSS. The compatible property will help designers not to give up on their old version CSS codes. CSS3 is made of small modules which make the application easier and simpler to use. Due to having small modules, it is simple to change, where particular developer need or no need of massive change. It supports images and animations to enhance the image quality and 3D animations. The best thing about CSS is its capability of introducing uniform changes on all the pages of the website. The amount of styling work is saved and repetition is eliminated. When you have an overall image of CSS work, we have to look at both advantages and disadvantages. For the role it plays, CSS does have both sides of being. And it is essential to note that CSS is a functional language that enables responsive design on websites. Its usage is what determines the advantages and disadvantages. Sometimes CSS can be messy and can create complications in code. There are few downsides while using CSS, so one must know these disadvantages so that we will be aware and take care of them while designing a website. Beginners get confused while opting to learn CSS as there are many levels of CSS and cross-browser issues, security issues, and extra work for the developers. Due to developers testing compatibility for different browsers, their workload increases. Implying in the context of advantages and disadvantages of CSS we discussed, it is fair to establish that its benefits surpass the disadvantages without doubts. Overall, we can say that if you are passionate about web development, try to learn HTML and CSS. Though you may see some disadvantages of CSS, many advantages counter them and ensure that your web development process is smooth and efficient. CSS 3 is the latest version of CSS specification. CSS 3 adds several new styling features and improvements to enhance the web presentation capabilities. It works in conjunction with HTML to provide a styling and formatting of web pages. CSS 3 being used to create and format content structure. It brings a lot of new features like rounded corners, shadows, gradients, transitions, as well as new layouts like multi-columns, flexible box, or grid layouts. CSS 3 provides a consistent and precise positioning of navigable elements. It is easy to customize a web page as it can be done by merely altering a modular file. Graphics are easier in CSS 3, thus making it easy to make the site appealing. CSS 3 take a different approach. It relies on concept of modules to provide the specification. Each module appears in a separate document and details a particular CSS 3 feature. And this approach provides several benefits. And this set of 12 modules will provide most of the functionality you need for every application. Some of the other 50 modules aren't even implemented yet and may never be. For example, the CSS extended box model hasn't been started yet, but it should provide some exciting new functionality when someone puts it together. A few of the 50 modules that don't appear in this list are used for something other than standard applications. The CSS Marquee module is implemented and available, but you normally use it with smartphones. The groups working on these standards have also combined a few modules to make them easier to work with. The CSS 2D transformation module and the CSS 3D transformation module have been combined into a single CSS transforms module. CSS module is a CSS file in which all class names and animation names are scoped locally by default. CSS modules let you to write styles in CSS files but consume them as JavaScript objects for additional processing and safety. Each module adds new properties and features such as rounded corners, border images, shadows, gradients, transitions, and animations. Every year, brand new CSS features are released. Let's zoom in on the top CSS layouts. Selectors are the part of CSS rule set. CSS selectors select HTML elements according to its ID, class, type, attributes. There are several different types of selectors in CSS. Selectors allow the designer to select on more precise level of web page. They are structural pseudo-classes that perform partial matches, helps to match attribute and attribute values. New selectors target a pseudo-class to style the elements targeted in URL. Selectors also include a checked pseudo-class to style checked elements such as checkboxes and radio buttons. Text effects and layout. With CSS 3, we can change the justification of text, white space adjustment of the document, and style the hyphenation of words. First letter and first line pseudo-classes. CSS 3 includes properties that help with kerning, that is adjusting the space between characters to achieve a visually pleasing effect, and positioning drop caps, that is large decorative capital letter at the starting of a paragraph. Paged media and generated content. CSS 3 has additional choices in paged media such as page numbers and running headers and footers. There are additional properties for printing generated content as well like properties for cross references and footnotes. Multi-column layout. This feature includes properties to allow designers to present their content in multiple columns. CSS3 allows the designer to create websites rich in content and low in code. This technology brings some exciting features that make the page look good and simple for the user to navigate and functions flawlessly. CSS rule set consists of a selector and a declaration block. A style rule is made of 3 parts. The selector points to the HTML element you want to style. The declaration block contains one or more declarations separated by semicolons. Each declaration includes the CSS property name and a value separated by a colon. The basic goal of CSS language is to allow the browser engine to paint elements of a page with specific features like colors, positioning, or decorations. The CSS syntax reflects this goal, and its building blocks are property and value. Property, which is an identifier, that is a human readable name that defines which feature is considered. Value, which describes how feature must be handled. Each property has set of valid values. A CSS declaration always ends with semicolon, and the declaration blocks are surrounded by curly braces. A selector is a HTML tag at which style will be applied. This could be any tag like h1 or table. Property is a type of attribute of HTML tag, where all HTML attributes are converted into CSS properties. They could be a color, border, etc. Values are assigned to the properties. For example, color property can have value either red or the hexadecimal color code for the shade of red. The CSS declaration are grouped in blocks, that is, in a structure delimited by opening brace and a closing one. Such blocks are naturally called declaration blocks, and declaration inside them are separated by a semicolon. You can define a table border as shown here. Here the table is a selector and border is a property, and we assigned a value to the property to have a border around the table with 1 pixel solid line of border with hexadecimal color code, which is medium dark shade of red. You can define selectors in various simple ways based on your comfort. I will put these selectors one by one in a separate video, and in that video we will run through the different types in great detail, seeing how they work. CSS selectors are used to target the HTML elements on our web page that we want to style. There are a wide variety of CSS selectors available. You have met selector already, that is CSS selector is the first part of CSS rule, and it tells the browser which HTML element should be selected to have the CSS property values inside the rule applied to them. A selector is a HTML tag at which the CSS style will be applied. This could be any element tag like h1 tag, paragraph tag, or table tag, etc. CSS selector types are element selector, ID selector, class selector, universal selector, and group selector. CSS3 selectors include all the CSS selectors. It includes simple selectors, combinators, grouping, and pseudo selectors. Earlier CSS versions used type, class, ID, and child selectors. CSS2 adds more pseudo elements and pseudo classes and combinator selectors. And now with CSS3 we can target almost any element with wide range of selectors options. CSS3 selectors are part of HTML5, and we will follow this topic with supporting practical demonstration in next video. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification icon, so that way whenever I create a new video you will be notified. Thank you for watching. See you in next video.